Hey, 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 everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Being silly. It's Victoria here, and I am back, guys, with another Profit Taker episode where all we do is win, win, win. So let's get to it. This amazing dashboard, which I'm so excited that is coming to our community. I know. You guys have been asking me when it's going to drop. We do got to finalize some stuff, right? There's going to be some additional improvements. Then hopefully down the line, we can get some more that I want. That will happen really quickly, but I'm just still kind of waiting on all that. So just be patient with me, but I know that you're excited. All you got to do right now is hop on into our locals group. Information will be in the bottom in the description section, and then you will be able to know when it drops. Okay. All right. So let's get to these charts. Let's do it. So now I put on the thumbnail, first green day, first red day. If you know what that means, you know. If you know, you know, then you know. And I also put btmm because if you know, you know. So I love to use, and I'm glad that I did learn them both strategies. And if you have been noticing that I've been using a lot of Stacy Burke's methodology because I really liked how he counts the days of the week. So when you're using this indicator, since it is built based off of btmm, it still applies, right? The rules still apply when it comes to the count and how to help you to know what to do. You know what I mean? You know, Stacy always says Monday is day 1, Tuesday day 2, Wednesday day 3. So in BTM world, we see that there's 4 days after the peak. Well, actually today, let me just pretend like it's still today, because technically in the trading world, it's the next day. So now this has changed from 3 to 4. So when we got to the charts today, it was 3 days. And when we look back last week, we noticed, you know, we got, let me bust out my fancy pen, guys. So this was technically day 1, and this, guys, I'm telling you, was the biggest struggle, because I was trying to figure out, when do you start counting these pushes, you know? And I mean, it seems like it took me forever for me to learn that, but nonetheless, day 1 and day 3 are the same thing. So day 1 or day 3 turns into day 1. So basically we had a day 1 on Wednesday last week. Okay. Thursday, day 2, you get your parabolic trade setup. I forgot what Stacy, is this the safety trade that Stephen Burke used to call this, the safety trade? Because it's the easiest damn trade in the world. Okay. It's the easiest one. And he always used to stress about how easy it was. And this is the only trade setup you should be taking. And this indicator is going to help you to do that. It's going to help you to just take this one trade. So I already have these marked here. So here we go. So day 2 was a parabolic trade, which is also, I think, the safety trade, because it's a safe trade. And then you have day 3. So what happened day 3? We were waiting for this thing to drop. Right? I was in here. I was ready to load up. And this thing did not drop, guys. Nothing happened. We had the reversal like we were expecting. And it looks like 3 pushes up. Okay. I mean, beautiful. Well, actually, I shouldn't count all those, right? Let me erase that. Sometimes it gets carried away, but you know, I mean well, I do. So you have the 3 pushes, boom, boom, boom. Okay, it didn't go sideways that long, but by the time it gave the drop, maybe somebody took this. I was waiting for it to break the structure, and it never did. So I just looked at this as day 3, didn't drop. So today, Monday, day 3 continued, which actually gave us that day 3 continuation that I was looking for on Friday that didn't happen, right? So don't get all, you know, flustered if the price doesn't move like it's supposed to, but look back and look at the big picture and say, what happened these last 3 days? Okay, if price isn't going to move, then tomorrow will be another day to trade. We just need to survive to trade another day, right? Survive, meaning our capital. Okay, we need to make sure we don't blow up our capital and survive for another day. That's the end of the game, right? We're here to take profits. Okay, that's it. Profit takers all day. Okay, so today, Monday, beautiful trade, guys. I mean, you can see the M that showed up here, very nice and clear for us in New York. Even London had an opportunity to go short a little bit, and it went short in the London session there. So let me delete this. I hope you guys got all that right. I hope that made sense. I'm gonna go down to M5 so we can see what's going on. Okay, so as you can see, when of course my session is New York, so London I had already missed. I slept in, guys. I really wanted to wake up a little early for the trade today, but I slept in. Maybe tomorrow I'll wake up early because I was trying to get back in that groove of waking up. But nonetheless, you come to the charts. If your session is New York, if your session is London, if your session is Asia, you always want to draw the lines where the high and lows are. But if you're expecting to taking a drop, then of course you're trading your bias. So, but don't discount where the high and low is. So for people who were right in the transition from Asia to London, had a beautiful opportunity to go long at the low of session and for the day trade, technically. And then you had the opportunity to take it short back down to the low. I mean, that's a freaking great trade. So then by the time I get to the chart, it's finished with its 3 pushes back up to the high. That's what we want to see. Okay. All right. We see that first high. We want it to pull, to go back down in the intended direction and then pull back up. And this is the area where we want to enter. Now, again, this is M5. I'm sure you could have done this also on M1 for those of you who are talented and love to look at this in M1. Here you go. So I haven't gotten, I always say this every time. I haven't started looking at this. So there was the London, there was the Asia London trade, London open trade. And then all we were looking for is prices to come back to the high in our session and take it short. That's it. This one was pretty easy because I always tell you on Monday, I mean, I'm sure it happens every other day, but typically Monday, it's high and low session trades. Okay. That's typically what you're going to see. So what I did here, okay, so I already marked those off for my trade session today. So what I'm going to do, because there's one of the things that I do want to change with the indicator once it is available for us and we can make our changes as needed. I would love for, as you can see here, this black line, this is automatically, it comes here, right? This is the psychological support and resistance that we see all the time in the btmm strategy. And what I would like to have this do for us to kind of mesh the two things together is to actually capture the high and low of Monday, right? That's exactly what I want, the high and low of Monday. And again, as we're looking at this big picture, guys, you can see that price. Oh, before I even move forward, I've already got all my stuff drawn, right? I had already did this and went to H4. Okay, you always want to make sure you go to H4, higher time frame, and you want to identify the previous week high and low, which we did. I'm just going to extend that because this being on H4, and when you do this, this is going to capture the entire week where the session break is. Okay, so you should be good for the week to know where your high and low is. All right, and the other thing that I like to do is also, especially when prices are dropping like this, or maybe it's rising, you can see that it's getting close, especially with the 380R right there showing up. I want to go ahead and identify the previous week's low and high. Okay, so I want the indicator to do that for me, but I'm pretty sure there's indicators out there that already do this. So if you already have that, that's great. I applaud you for doing all that. But me, why do I want to be, I want to draw my lines. Why do I want to draw my lines? I don't know, but I don't know. I feel like I'm always learning something. Okay. All right. So we got that done. Okay. So now we're just going back. I'm going to go back. Now this is how my H1 looks. I kind of keep that one a little bit cleaner, a little bit, but just again, big picture, we can see here that price pushed out of the open range, and that's one push, and we love to see that. Okay. So I'm just going to draw that because that's technically now yesterday's low. And what do we want? We want to push through the low. That's all we want to do. All right. So what else are we going to do? So we've identified our highs and lows. Previous week, highs and lows. Last week, highs and lows. Now we're rolling into day 4. Now I always say this, and just by looking at this, I do still expect this thing to drop, because technically sometimes 4 days after the peak, you're gonna expect the market to shift, and probably the trend is gonna shift. But I'm looking at this, the 380R still hasn't been touched yet, so we may have another opportunity for price to go down to the 380R before it reverses, but we just have to wait and see. Okay. That's all we have to do is just wait and see. As of right now, I am just looking to see that what I see here and what my bias is going to be for tomorrow. We have an opportunity for price to come down here to last week's low and reverse. So that is a big probability for tomorrow. We may get a nice long trade, and it could come back up here to the open range low of the week. It could possibly do 50% of the open range, right? And then reverse back down to 380R. So it could do something like this. Be Asia right here, right? And then we have the trade in London, which is long. And then maybe it will play around. Maybe it'll do like it did today. Who knows? Or maybe it won't do any of that. No, it's kind of janky drawing, but it's just kind of what I'm expecting, only because price is so close to last week's low. And usually when we see price come back here, you're going to get some kind of support. And then it's going to give us a nice long trade back up here, or maybe around here to this quarter level, 25, and then come here and then reverse back down and be done here. Or again, it can come all the way down to this level, which was the previous week's high, which is now going to be support for us. Okay, excuse me. Was that previous week's high? No, previous week's low. I need to change that. Okay, does that make sense, guys? I hope it does. So tomorrow, 4 days after the peak, but again, we have day 1 and day 2. Another way you can look at this thing is if we get like two, if the market breaks, let's see, let's see, what am I trying to say here? If we continue to get this thing, it did close outside the range, right? Possibility again, like I said, if this thing does go up here and back down here, possibility of day 3. I'm thinking it's probably going to go and continue. I don't know yet, but it looks like it may continue if we get a long trade on day 2. But we'll wait and see, because typically day 2 in the cycle, we should be able to get another continuation. I just don't know when it's going to play out, right? That's another thing. Definitely looking for prices to go up, pull, retrace, and then to drop again. And then hopefully day 3 will actually, if that happens, then possibly day 3 will be a reversal. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at. I don't know what's going to happen yet, but I got my charts marked up. I don't want to keep talking about it because then, you know, you just start making shit up. And I'm just going by what I'm seeing right now with this price action. Let me change that. Nonetheless, it is an area, right? It's a zone. So we want to have it marked and we want to know where it's at. And that's it, guys, for that pair. Oil. So today, you know, I got to the charts and I forgot to look at oil yesterday, or maybe I did. I was just looking at a lot of pairs. I got to the chart and I saw that this was a 1 because, again, now it's already the day. So this was a 1. So anytime I see a 1, again, that's the signal that you guys can take with no stress, like absolutely no stress at all. Okay. So as you can see, it played out nicely. High of day, high of session trade for London. And then we had a low of day session trade because I actually came in, I took this one short. I did take this trade short in the open, as you can see. Once it came up 1, 2, 3, oh my God, it was so easy. And this is the 15-minute chart. I was like, what the heck? You guys are making it easy for me today. Let me drop down to M5. So M5, we had, you know, it looked a little janky, but 1, pause, 2, 3. It's there, right? So that's why I like to look at both time frames, because sometimes one can be clearer than the other. Okay. So here we go. I mean, I saw this trade. I took it short in the New York Open and I took it down to the low. And then that's when I got out of the trade. Okay. And that was it. High of session trade pretty much of the New York session. This was a great trade today, guys. You know what? I want to go look. Oh, and CJ. I was really waiting for CJ to play out for me. All the yen pairs moved really nicely. The only thing is they moved in London because there was news in the Asia London area. So we have here, let me break out my pen. So technically this was day 1, 2, and then 3. Okay. So day 3 now, what are we expecting? Price is at the high. So we could possibly get it might go flat a little bit. And then it may give us a reversal for tomorrow. Not sure. Sometimes when yen starts to go long, it doesn't stop. It is unstoppable when these yen pairs go long. They just crawl, you know, like a turtle. You know, they just be taking their time, but they continue to go long. So what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna mark my charts here. Let me go ahead and do that now. What I'm going to do is mark let me go to M30. I like that view. And this was the high. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. All right. I know you can barely see that, but this is just how I draw my end of day with the channel application, and it's not letting me grab it. There we go. So technically that was the low. Just gonna draw that out a little bit, and then the high. Let's swing high there. So what are we doing, guys? It's either gonna be, it's one of the 3 things that happen. You hear, you know, both Stacy and Steve talk about it. That price is either going to break out trend, break out reverse, or do nothing. So if this gives me a stop hunt high, it's either going to go this way, stop hunt. Oops. Or it's going to go this way. That's it. or it's going to do nothing. But I'm not going to write that on here because I'm looking for it to go up. I'm looking for it to go long. Okay, because look, the open range, and this one actually, actually no, it didn't. Let me make that small a little bit. This is technically the open range right here. I'm going to go to H4 so I can draw it out for the week. Okay. Back to M30. So technically it closed inside the range. And what is the range? It's just the high and low of Monday. That's it. Okay. So we would definitely, of course, would have loved it to close outside and give us, you know, a push out of the range, but it already surpassed Friday's high. So that's already a good deal. Okay. So tomorrow, we'll see what happens. Okay. Because tomorrow will be, they call Tuesday initial balance. We'll kind of see what happens with price tomorrow, if Tuesday's going to break out or if it's going to continue to stay inside. Okay. So that's what we're waiting for, price to push out of this, from this high right here. That's what we want to do. And if it doesn't push out and go long, it's going to go short or it's going to do nothing. Today, I felt like it did pretty much nothing as it was crawling up there, right, to close at the high, because again, the move was earlier in the London session. So I guess I was expecting a miracle and it just didn't happen. If you just look back here, you can see the move was happening in that session as well. So we'll see what happens. See what happens tomorrow. And the dollar CAD, I took that trade as well. And this one, because it was showing 2. Was it showing 2 or 1? It was showing 1 day after the new peak. And today I was really expecting to go long, and I did. I got in long right before the session opened. This is like the market open time around 8 o'clock. I started noticing the pattern show up for me, what I was looking for, and I went ahead and got in long, and I took it long up until it got to the open, because then I started seeing it starting to break down. So I went ahead and exited this trade nicely, and I was like, thank you. At least I got what I wanted, right? I got the long trade. It was pre-session or pre-market, and that was it. And sometimes when they do that, they're going to start breaking down. Okay. It's not all the time, but sometimes, you know. Okay, so I'm done with this. So let me go ahead and delete it. So now I was telling the team in the locals, you can't see it, but right now the dashboard does not show anything. It's just blank. It does show us that the market is still down. I'm waiting for prices to confirm. Sometimes, and I've noticed with the dollar CAD, it does that on my dashboard. I don't know why it does it on my dashboard, but on dollar CAD, sometimes it does wait a little bit before it confirms. And just by looking at this, I'm going to go back to a higher time frame here. So price did close below the open, and that to me is a signal to go long. So this could be technically a first green day, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put that there. And then we are going to wait and see tomorrow. Okay, we want prices to do what? Give us a stop hunt, low rise. The end of session. I guess I'll just use this area here. This looks good. just drawing all this stuff out. Okay, so I'll go back to H4 and make this longer. Oh, I'm starting to grab stuff that I don't need to. There we go. Come back down here, let's fix it. Okay, that looks good. So that's the open range, high and low of the day. So we did have a breakout. We had a peak high and a low today. So, and then the way price closed, let's see what happens tomorrow. Is this going to be a first green day for us? Is price going to give us a stop hunt low? I mean, right now, this is looking like a long trend, right? It's looking like it is, but overall, H4 is showing bearish. So we'll see what happens. Dollar cat is always weird like that. One day it's this way, the next day it's another way. It's like, God, no. Can you decide to stay one way for at least 3 days? It doesn't do that, to be quite honest. But we'll see if that's what we're going to get. All right, I wanted to look at the Swissy because that one was one of the pairs that was still maxed out. It's totally maxed out in the ADR. And once that happens, when it's maxed out like that, this can also signify a just a nothing. Just again, it just continued to crawl up there, and we don't really know when it's going to reverse, but it's going to reverse. We just don't know when. Sometimes it can go and do this max out of the 380R and do it twice, right? And then you're like, okay. Usually when that happens, I just don't care to trade it because I want it to be, I want to know, right? I want to have some expectation of something, right? And right now, I'm still thinking it like today, of course, looks like a great day for it to continue on long based on how it closed. Okay, because it did close above the open. So tomorrow we may get a stop hunt low rise and it might continue to go up, right? But I don't really trade the Swissy all that much, but I'm just saying those are the things that are going to pop up on the dashboard, and you're going to see that the ADR is around 4, getting close to 5, and you're like thinking, what's going on here? Just like this one with the S&P, I think even DJ30 was doing this, and people were confused as to what's going on. And like I said, usually I don't really care to trade them when it does that, because yeah, I am expecting it to go long, but it doesn't really move that much, and you know, I'm not too excited about it because it's like the level 3 price action that just continues. Not my friend. Let me see if this one did the same thing. This is GN. Yep, you see what I mean, guys? When it's doing all that, I don't care to trade this thing until I get some confirmation. But there's so many opportunities, so it's not like you don't want to get stuck on one trade, guys, or one instrument. You have so many options with the tool that will give you an opportunity to trade something in your session. So today, I think I'm about to wrap this video up. It was great trades today. Guys, just go ahead, hop on in the locals. Again, it's free to join locals. You're going to know when I drop when the indicator drops. Everybody in the locals will get a local special, okay, for being a part of the community. And don't be shy. Don't be shy. Go in there. You can post your chart. You can talk about it. You can ask questions. It's a community, so people can come in there and talk about your chart and maybe offer some help or whatever, right? I'm not going to see everything, so try to look and see everything, but most part I want you to be in there and feel free to and comfortable to ask questions, and that's it. I don't know everything, but I strive to learn this game of trading every day. I do, and I spend a lot of time on the charts. So, you know what I mean? That's my goal, but I don't know what your goal is, but that's my goal. And with this tool, guys, it's going to help you to get there much faster. Okay. Much faster than it did me. And of course, with learning the day count properly, because before I was just like, what the heck? You know what I mean? And the timings properly. Because I was like, why is all this stuff moving and I'm not here? Right? Because in the beginning, I didn't know I was supposed to be at the chart at a certain time. So, and I've found that London is always seems to be a pretty good session, right? In New York, you have, sometimes you get really good pairs. Of course, oil, you know, gold is always going to be giving, and, you know, DJ30 and all that stuff, right? It's going to be there as well for you. But, you know, all the pairs that moved like I wanted them to move would always move in the, like EA, GA, you know, they would move beautifully in the London session, and you didn't have all that volatility that some of the other indices would have, you know, which can cause you to be hesitant sometimes because, you know how it is. You can't just, with anything, risk management is important, right? And so you want to keep all that in mind and, you know, kind of decide what's going to work best for you and, you know, when you're going to be able to show up. So guys, I have been chatting way too long here. I just want to share a few of the pairs that did show up nicely that I did trade today, and invite you all to come into the locals community and get the drop when the profit takers alert dashboard is available for you. Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much. We will see you in the next video. Ciao for now.